Started on the Dynasty channel tonight. Now we're going to work our way over to talk some redraft fantasy football. We are in the thick of it, ladies and gentlemen. This is
time.
The middle of fantasy football season, and I'm sure you've got a bunch of questions.
Ooh.
Start sit questions, trade questions, which move should I make questions, look at my roster questions. Drop them all. Drop every single one of those questions in the comments. We're going to be answering every single one of those questions tonight. We've already got a lot of questions rolling in. So do please keep in mind, on the Dynasty channel, we literally just spent the whole time answering Super Chats. Super Chats are going to take priority tonight. We are going to answer those questions first and foremost. So if you'd like your question answered, that's probably going to be the best way to do it. Or if you got here before everybody else, like Brandon did, our guy Brandon Shoop with the first question, you're definitely getting this one answered, buddy. He traded Gibbs and Pollard for JT and Olave. With Gibbs being out 2 weeks now, and Pollard, how did you do that? Pollard questionable, JT apparently going to be ramped up this week. I feel like I fleeced. My friend, you did fleece. Yeah. Virtual bump. Guys, make sure you drop a like as you jump in here. Make sure you also drop a sub. That number over Nathan's head's going to go up tonight. We know it will. Appreciate you. Brandon, yeah, you definitely fleeced that guy. That's crazy.
Let's get to 4K tonight.
Let's get to 4K on this stream. That would be wicked.
Yeah.
Bobby, what's up, man? Stafford, James Cook, Montgomery, Tyreek Hill, DJ Moore, Puka, Kelsey, Olave. The bench is Ramondre, Nico Collins, Breece Hall, Logan Thomas, KJ Osborne. Any move, it's an 8 team, so that's why it's so pretty stacked. Any move suggestions here? I would be trading DJ Moore right now.
Yep.
While you can, if you can get a CD Lamb type, if you can get Jalen Waddle, Devonta Smith.
Is there a way that you could pair like DJ Moore with Nico Collins to get a better wide receiver in a better situation? That's what I would ask, and that's what I would recommend.
Yeah. I think I would too. Go ahead.
Yep. Ove Neva says, should I trade Kyren Williams and Kittle for Puka in Dynasty? My rest of the season, Eckler, Saquon, and Pollard and Kyren, and need to start 3. My tight end is Laporta and Kittle. I would absolutely do that for Puka Nacua in Dynasty, honestly. Kittle is a 30-year-old tight end, and Kyren Williams is a 5th-round running back where McVay says time and time again that he will never pay a running back on to a second contract ever again after the Gurley disaster. That's a great deal for you. And if you're looking to start 3 there, you got to go Eckler, Saquon, and Pollard top 3 if you're looking rest of the season. If you're going this week, it's Eckler, Pollard, and Kyren because Saquon probably isn't going to play.
Yep.
They say my wide receivers are Chris Godwin and Marquise Brown, Michael Thomas, and Stephon Diggs, and Jacoby Myers on the bench. It's a dynasty league. Shut up, Sam.
That's what she said.
Yeah. All right. Jeremiah says 10-team half PPR traded Eckler, Puka, and Moss for Bijan, Mahomes, and Ayuk. Did I do okay? Yeah, you did okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'm cool with that.
Yep.
Rob says Achane and Gibbs injured. Okay. I picked up Wilson Jr., but looks like he will still be out. Foreman I'm assuming that's DeMarcado's left on waivers. Who has the highest floor? That would be Foreman with the highest floor.
I would go Foreman.
Yes, absolutely. All right.
Super chat.
Our guy Brandon already has his first super chat in tonight. Brandon, we super appreciate you, my friend. You are probably our super fan, honestly. Would you trade Olave for Jefferson considering circumstances? I think that's going to be...
I would do that for J. Jeff in fantasy.
I think it's somewhat team dependent. I think if you are if you're 1-4, you can't make that trade. Your season will be will be over by the time
that
you
is
get
correct.
Jefferson.
Yes.
So it is somewhat team dependent. If you have a winning record and you can make that trade, that is amazing.
If you're 4-1 and you're not really depending on Olave anyways because he hasn't been super consistent or super great, I think you should take the gamble. There's obviously some skepticism that Justin Jefferson might be out for a long time or for the rest of the season or for 10 weeks or whatever. I'm not buying that yet. I'm not exactly buying the Kirk Cousins talk either. I mean, he has a no trade clause. I think they're just going to ride it out with Cousins, and there's greener pastures ahead, in my opinion. The Vikings are a better team than they were last season. All their luck that they had last year is taking away from the luck that they've had this year, and they have a much friendlier schedule for the next few weeks.
Yeah, Brandon, we appreciate you, my friend. Thank you for the super chat. Let us know if you need anything else, guys. We are, and there's Brandon again. All right, Brandon says he's 3-2 with Diggs, Ridley, and Marquise Brown. Ooh, if you've got Diggs, Ridley, and Marquise, I'm fine making that trade. Are you?
I'm
comfortable with
completely
that.
fine with that.
Yeah,
yep.
That's a great team. So. Again, the question was, should he trade Olave for Jefferson? This is going to be a question that a lot of people are going to be asking because of Justin Jefferson's cheap price right now in fantasy, and we said yes. Brandon, great trade concept. If you came up with that, that is awesome. We really appreciate you. Ethan, what is up, my friend? Good to have you on, my friend. 10 PPR. Or 10-man PPR. Sorry, not 10 That would be crazy. 10 points per reception. Kirk Cousins, Bijan, Tony Pollard, Jamar Chase, DK, TJ. One flex. Do I start at flex? Cooper, JT, or Josh Palmer, and what do we think on team and trade options? Ethan, again, thank you so much for your comment. And let's go through and answer these in order. So first of all, at your flex, Amari Cooper's not going to have Deshaun Watson this week. JT is ramping up touches. And Josh Palmer is really a not start for us this week. So This is tough. Nathan.
I'm going to go with Jonathan Taylor. I don't think Amari Cooper is going to be able to do anything this week until Deshaun Watson is back. You're obviously looking at his production with DTR. DTR isn't playing this week, though. It is going to be PJ Walker. I think PJ Walker is playing this week.
It is PJ
So
Walker.
that may be a little bit better for Amari Cooper, but it's not enough for me to move the needle. JT, again, his workload's going to increase. What does increase mean? What does that mean, ramping up the workload? Because he only had 15% snap share last week. Does ramping up mean he gets to 25 or 30? We just don't know, and we have to see. But I think with Anthony Richardson being out, he may even get more workload than was originally planned. So I would count on that.
Yeah, 100% agree. And then for your trade options here, I'm not really trading any of these guys right now, I don't think. I think you're holding pretty much all these guys. Yeah, do you see any trade options here? I'm not seeing any that I'd really want him to move right now.
No, not at the moment.
I really want you to hold all those guys, and I think you'd have a good shot in your league. So, Ethan, again, thank you so much for your super chat. Let us know if you need anything. I'm going to go to the comment below real quick. I'm going to skip ahead because Mila D says hit that like button, and I cannot agree more with you, Mila. So, thank you so much for that. It really helps out. All right, let's jump back up to the top. Again, guys, super chats are going to jump the line here. We're going to have a lot of questions tonight. Fridays are usually pretty busy for us.
Rob says A-Chain and Gibbs injured. I picked up Jeff Wilson Jr., but looks like he was...
We already answered this one.
Oh, you're right. Joe. We're going to go to Joe.
Who?
Hey, Joe. 10-team PPR, 2 and 3. He's got Tua and CMC, Breece Hall, Cooper Kupp, DK, Waller, Marquise Brown, and his bench is Christian Watson, Burrow, Ford, Sutton, Charbs, Palmer, DK, Deontay Johnson. Any trade ideas? Let's get Darren Waller off that roster now.
Yep.
Because tight end, if you don't have Kelsey or Hawkinson, or maybe kind of sort of Andrews, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter who you have. I don't care if you're spamming Logan Thomas and Gerald Everett and Jake Ferguson, just whoever is available on waivers every single week. I don't care who it is. Waller is not enough to move the needle for you and help you win your league. And even though you may get a fantasy points downgrade, it's worth getting whatever asset you get in return for Waller because of that. So that's what we'd recommend there. Darren Waller for sure. Other than that, let's ship off Jerome Ford for anything, and let's ship off Cortland Sutton, who just had another touchdown this week with a super nice one-handed catch.
Nice.
People are going to be all over that, so let's sell the hype.
Yeah, 100% agree with you there.
He said 10-team PPR as well. Should I trade DK and Burrow for CD? I have Tua. Yes, absolutely doing that.
Football de noche. What's up, my friend? Olave or Flowers this week? Flowers. Pick 2, please. Tyjae Spears, Ramondre Stevenson, DeMarcado, or Rashad White. We're going to go
I'll go Ramondre and
maybe Tyjae.
Tyjae.
Yeah, let's go Ramondre and Tyjae there.
Yeah.
Good question. That's tough. Robert, what's up, Robert? Thanks for joining us. Full PPR trade DeMarcado, Keontae Ingram in the defense and special teams for Gibbs and the Niners D. Yeah, I mean, I don't even like Gibbs, and I'm doing that. That's a good trade. Tim, what's up? Tim says, I've got Kamara, and I'm looking to contend. Is it worth holding him for the points, or should I wait for him to score big this weekend and sell high? If so, who'd you target? Kamara, I'm fine holding him. I think he's a good hold for the points. And I do think that he's somebody that is going to score a lot of points as the season goes on. Let's jump down to Brandon's comment. Brandon, appreciate it, my friend. Also managed to pick up Rice, Spears, Debo, Downs, Johnson off waivers as my bench since trading to boost starting talent. My goodness. It's Curtis Samuel, not Debo. That's why I was confused. Those are really Rice and Spears are great stashes. Curtis Samuel being used very creatively right now in the Eric Bieniemy offense. Josh Downs, one of our favorite waiver pickups last week, probably maybe of the season. And then Johnson, I'm assuming he means help me. No, maybe I don't know. Somebody else got to be. But you've got some good depth there. You've got plenty of depth.
He meant Quentin Johnston.
It might be.
Yeah.
Brandon, we appreciate you, my friend. Oracle Zap with the super chat. Oracle Zap.
Let's go up
Good to
his
see you.
Question. He says,
got a question? Where you at?
Thoughts? I lost last week sitting Brees. He sat Brees last week. That's a bummer. Someone wants to trade me Gabe Davis for his take it. I take Gabe Davis. Only considering because better to have a tight end than to you're getting Waller. Sorry. We're taking Gabe Davis in that deal.
Yes.
Only considering because you would get a better tight end than to have to drop Gabe Davis for a steamer week 9. No.
Streamer.
Yeah, I don't think Gabe Davis is droppable anytime soon while he's putting up the production he is right now. For 5 straight weeks, he's scoring touchdowns. So, look, with that, I know it's not the sexiest trade. I know it's not the best trade of all time, but Waller just offers absolutely no upside.
Yeah, 100% agree with you there. Thanks for dropping a super chat. And, hey, guys, make sure you drop a like. Make sure you get that number up if you haven't subscribed because we're talking fantasy football all the time. And also, we're going to jump back up here way up to the top. The super chats are going to jump the line if you want your question answered tonight. Let's go to
Cowboys defense or Niners defense
better. I'm going to go Niners.
I am going to go.
It's a general question. I'm going Niners.
Niners by far. When you're looking, just at them going up against each other, Niners defense showed out a lot more than the Cowboys did. And Cowboys have had some injuries, Trayvon Diggs being the biggest one. They've really not figured out how to be consistent since that injury. So that's definitely, their secondary is a big question there.
Yeah.
Joe says, what wide receiver value should I trade selling Burrow and DK? Well, he gave us that question up there. I think getting CD, if you're moving off DK and Burrow, that's perfect. Patrick says, I'm thinking of trading away Kelsey and Ayuk for Kittle and Amon-Ra. 10-man, half PPR. In half PPR,
doesn't really change it for me.
Who are you taking?
Tight end for
I'm taking the best tight end.
I'm taking Kelsey there,
and I'm taking Ayuk. So
yeah, I'll keep your side there. David says, are CH and Dynasty or Najee Dynasty stashes? I guess you could call them that. Yeah, I mean you're not dropping them especially in like deeper Dynasty leagues like 12 teams. So you could call them that. I like to call them Dynasty busts, but that's
not Najee. I mean CH is still being rostered because of his draft capital. Najee will be for the next 3 or 4 years.
Yeah. He'll fall off.
But he's essentially the next CEH is what he is.
High is back. What's up, High? Should I trade Devonta Smith and Zach Moss for Puka? It's pretty lateral, honestly.
Puka is consistently out-targeting Devonta Smith.
So I'm fine with that. I'm okay with that.
And they're both playing alongside ones. So take the one that's producing more. I'd take Puka.
Yeah, absolutely. Oracle Zap also with another super chat said he had a comment before that. So let's go ahead and try to scroll up and let's find where his other comment is.
He said...
I don't see another one. We answered your only comment.
I'm going to look again.
I'm looking again too.
Maybe he said that after we answered.
Yeah. Drop it again, Oracle Zap. We'll go down and answer your question. We'll prioritize it. But
yeah.
I'm not seeing another one. Thanks for your super chat, though.
Yeah, if it was Gabe Davis for Waller,
that was the one we answered, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let us know. And if you didn't hear it, we'll re-answer it for you.
Yep.
All right, back up to the top.
Yes, sir.
Dude, every time. Sam, help us.
Myla
D says, since Jeff Wilson's not starting this week, should I pick up Ahmed and start him? You can. I think Mostert's going to get the majority of the work. He doesn't have an injury tag. So I think it's worth picking him up just as a flyer, though, in case you can trade him for anything next week in case he does go off.
That's really tough if you're forced to start whoever you pick up. That really is.
All right, let's jump down to Jamie's question here at the bottom. Jamie, really appreciate you joining us. Thanks for the super chat. You have a 12-man full PPR. You traded your entire depth for Bijan and Eckler. It's not a bad move. Do we start Ahmed in the flex over Josh Palmer, Jeff Wilson, doubtful? I'm starting Josh Palmer there personally. I do think, though, risky move, an interesting strategy to trade your depth for 2 studs. Typically what you see in fantasy football is these leagues won by studs.
Yep.
So I like it. Obviously,
totally
if you're
approve.
deciding between Ahmed or Ahmed or whatever, however you say it, I don't know, and Josh Palmer, that's obviously a little bit tough. But I'm going Josh Palmer. I'm curious what you think here.
I'm going Palmer as well.
Okay.
I trust his receiving volume more than I do Ahmed's volume overall. So
yeah. So we're gonna roll with Josh Palmer this week. Jeff Wilson will be a good stream if he is able to come back and contribute. Thank you again, Jamie, for your question. I really appreciate it. Thanks for your super chat.
Yeah.
All right.
Chaz D says, who should I start this week? Jordan Addison versus the Bears or Nico Collins against New Orleans? Easily Jordan Addison for us. Plus defense, Lions or Saints. We're going to go the Saints. Because the Saints defense is very, very, very good. Lions are good as well. They are playing the Panthers. But I'm gonna keep giving the edge to New Orleans. They've been playing too well defensively recently.
Yeah,
so,
I agree. You can keep going.
Zachary says Ertz or Kmet. Also traded Amari and Rashad White for Godwin and Ramondre. Team is now basically Hurts, Eckler, Brees, Aaron Jones, Olave, Amon-Ra, Godwin, Stevenson, Palmer, full PPR. We are gonna go with. We're going to go with Kmet this week, playing the Vikings. He's obviously shown out for 2 straight weeks now. Could he lay a dud this week? Absolutely. Ertz has been fine too, but I think you got to go with the guy who's on a hot streak at the moment. I also think your trade for Godwin and Ramondre was fine. I really like Amari this season, but I really like Godwin as well. I think it was a lateral move, and we think Ramondre in fantasy is a buy right now. Joe says Hall and Burrow for Eckler. It's a good question.
Eckler.
This has got to be off the because he also owns Tua.
Ooh, interesting.
I would take Eckler there.
Yeah, I'm taking Eckler there for sure.
Jonathan,
hey, make sure you guys drop a like and drop your questions. Super chats are going to jump the line. We're going to go through and answer as many of these as we can.
Yeah. Jonathan says, who should I start, Chris Godwin or Nico Collins? We're going to go with we're going to go with Chris Godwin this week for sure.
Yes.
Chris Godwin, the better wide receiver, going to get a lot of
playing the
volume
Lions
there.
defense too.
Playing the Lions defense.
Yeah.
Anthony says, I have Raheem, Saquon, Nico Collins, Addison, and Derrick Henry. Which 2 should I start, and should I trade Saquon and Henry away if I already have Pollard as well? Got to start 2. We're going to go with Addison as a must start this week. Saquon's not playing. Don't love Nico Collins this week. Don't love Henry. We're going to go Raheem, Mostert, and Jordan Addison this week.
Yep.
And if you're trading away Saquon, I wouldn't be selling those guys low, honestly.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
Because Pollard, we haven't said much about Pollard, but he has raised some own questions of his own in that offense.
All right, we're going to jump down to our friend Jamie. Jamie, thank you for your super chat. Full PPR, 1 QB, 2 wide receiver, 2 running back, 1 tight end, 1 flex. Have Christian McCaffrey, Saquon, JT, Devonta Smith, Ayuk, Debo, Jacoby Myers, Gabe Davis. Who to start this week and how to improve roster. So first of all, at your quarterback, who is your quarterback? You probably have that one figured out. 2 wide receivers. I'm going to go Devonta Smith and probably Debo there.
Yeah.
Let's go running backs, CMC. And I think you have to go JT.
You have to go JT.
You have to go JT.
Yep.
And then 1 tight end. You don't have that in here. Your flex. Do you have a flex? 1 flex. Ayuk.
Ayuk or Myers? Let's look at the matchup this week.
Ayuk's playing the Browns. That's a tough matchup for them. They don't allow a lot of wide receiver points. And
But it is the 49ers.
Myers is playing the Patriots. It's a revenge game too.
Oh, I would go Myers over Ayuk.
All right, then we're going Jacoby Myers. Is how to improve the roster is your second question. So let's go ahead and look through your roster here. I would say that Brandon Ayuk's not a bad sell right now. He is more inconsistent than people actually give him credit for. So there is that. I like all your running backs. You can be flexing if you're only flexing one running back and then starting two of both wide receiver and running back. I would say your wide receiver depth is fine. You maybe could get rid of one of your other depth wide receivers and trade them, but again, I don't know what you would trade for. Maybe package like a Gabe Davis and Myers or a Gabe Davis and Ayuk and go try to get a very good wide receiver like a Waddle right now or an Olave. You can try to buy low on Olave.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm good with that.
You can't go wrong with CMC, Barkley, and JT though, man. You're definitely not making any moves there. That's really solid.
Okay.
So.
Oracle Zap says we skipped 2 super chats. I'm looking through. Did we skip a super chat?
I'm confused.
I'm not seeing any.
We're all confused. Just send your question.
Send your question
and
again.
I'll find them and we'll put
I
them
don't.
up
We
for
haven't
you.
skipped any yet.
Yeah,
I'm looking at
about
all of
that.
them. So, yeah. Sorry for the confusion. I am not sure what's going on here. It must be something. It must be up.
Yeah.
But
we're not seeing oracles, so
no.
Yeah.
just
we
make sure.
did. We answered his one question, but
Right.
Football de Noche. Thank you so much for your super chat. Really appreciate it. Let's jump back up.
Sorry, I'm scrolling with you guys. Matt Rosman.
So I'm going to go ahead and I think he's talking about, again, so Oracle Zap, let's put that question up again. I think he's talking about this one. We did already answer this, but we'll answer this again for you. We're sorry if you missed it.
Yeah, it may have been a commercial break or an ad.
I took them off.
Don't know.
Thoughts? I lost last week sitting Brees. Someone wants to trade my Gabe Davis for his Waller. We are going to hold Gabe Davis here. Again, we aren't super high on Darren Waller. We think you should just be getting him off your roster. And we like Gabe Davis as a potential flex option each week. So we're going to be definitely holding Gabe Davis here. Only considering because I have better to have a tight end than to have to drop Gabe for a streamer in week 9. Now, I think you stream tight end there and keep Gabe Davis. But appreciate your super chats, my friend. Sorry if you missed our response there, but we might. If there's another one missing, let us know. I'm not sure what's happening, but I'll let you go ahead and keep going.
Yeah. So Matt says I have Metcalf, Addison, Kirk, and Pittman. Which 3 should I start? We're gonna go with Addison, Kirk, and I think we're gonna go with Pittman this week. Would you agree? Pittman over Metcalf?
I do agree.
Yeah. Iceberg Wanna Bag says, "What's up, guys? What's up? Appreciate you joining us, man." It's Nesso Gaming says Jacoby versus New England or Marquise Brown this week. I think Marquise Brown's playing the Rams. I'm gonna give the edge to Marquise. I don't know why we always opt to sit Marquise Brown when he continues to produce consistently. So let's go with Marquise Brown. I mean, he's been putting up the numbers that Myers has on a more consistent basis.
All right. So Football de Noche dropped a super chat and then had a question. The question is, should I add Jackson Smith and Jigba? Should I drop him for Ramondre Stevenson, Marty Mercado, Brandon Aubrey? My wide receivers, Devon Smith, Zay Flowers, Puka Nacua. I can only play 2 in 1 flex. So should you add JSN? I mean, if you have the roster spot, yes. But if you're asking if you should drop JSN for Ramondre, yeah, I'm taking Ramondre there, especially with the receivers you already have.
Yeah.
And because you can only really play 3 wide receivers at a time. Yeah, I'm definitely comfortable going ahead and getting Ramondre for JSN. And that said, if you guys, if you're watching this and you can stash JSN on your fantasy team, we're definitely doing that. Yeah. So just like I said, make sure that you're being firm on your decision there. But I do think that it's worth dropping him for Ramondre Stevenson. Football de Noche, thank you for your super chat. Thank you for your support.
And Oracle says he had a comment before the
I already read that
comment before.
So he's going to drop it again.
Sweet.
I'll keep an eye out for it.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I don't see it. I don't know what happened to it.
I keep looking.
It disappeared.
It's gone.
Gone forever.
Mario 5 says favorite karaoke song.
Well, I know Nathan really likes Taps.
That's not a karaoke song. There's
Well,
literally
you were
no words.
singing it earlier.
What's your favorite karaoke song?
Bohemian
Avery,
Rhapsody.
Did you even hear what I said?
Bohemian Rhapsody?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's a fun one to sing karaoke.
Yeah.
Nice. Mine is I don't know. I don't know.
Could,
Well, you
could
moved-
be
probably
a,
probably
could
hooked
be
on
a
a feeling.
Journey song for me, probably. Either that or
I just
like
love.
if
I
it
love
was 80s.
us-
And literally anything 80s is pretty much
yeah.
a good karaoke.
I mean,
song.
and for me, Sinatra's probably up there
Yeah.
too.
Patty says,
Yeah.
should I be panicking on DK Metcalf? If so, what receiver should I flip him for? I mean, it depends. If everybody's selling low on DK, you can't really sell DK right now. So, which receiver? If you're going to try to flip him again, flip him for somebody in that range, wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3 range. Give me some suggestions here.
Godwin.
Godwin, Pittman.
If you can buy
Amari Cooper.
still Amari Lowe.
Yep.
Christian Kirk, which people just seem to not like Christian Kirk, even though he keeps producing. So, and it's because of Calvin Ridley. But yeah. Next question says Brock Purdy or Sam Howell. This week, we have Brock Purdy as a sit in our video. I do want to see who Washington's playing. They're playing the Falcons, who have a not great pass defense. I'll go with Howell this week over Brock Purdy. Curtis says standard scoring format. I traded Pickens for Brandon Ayuk. Thoughts? Like that a lot. We prefer Brandon Ayuk over George Pickens in fantasy this season. Iceberg says, yo.
What's up, Iceberg?
Who can I trade target with Aaron Jones? If you're trying to get rid of Aaron Jones, it's tough moving off Aaron Jones right now because he's been injured. Who are some of the types of running backs that you'd be looking to get there?
Off of Aaron Jones?
Yeah.
James Conner, maybe.
Okay, yeah.
But he's injured, so I would hold
Right.
Aaron Jones there. I'm not trading Aaron Jones right now. Let's jump down to our
Yeah.
super chat here. Juice420, nice name, and we appreciate you joining us and appreciate the support for the channel, my friend.
Very much.
Really, really, really appreciate it.
Yep.
Was offered a trade today. All right. Would get Justin Jefferson, Pacheco, and Nick Folk. You would trade Amon-Ra, Kyren, and the Saints defense. Woof. Running backs, Christian McCaffrey, Ramondre Stevenson, Kyren, and Charbonnet. You've got Diggs, Waddle, Addison, Dell, and QJ, and Josh Downs. And a 14 team. That's a good team for a 14. Should I take the trade? Oh, and he also said he forgot to put the Sun God in his list. So he's got
Dude,
Sun God, Diggs,
your
Waddle,
list of wide receivers
is bananas for a
so
14-team
good.
league.
You can afford that.
Yes, I agree.
And getting Pacheco in exchange for moving off Kyren, it's not ideal, but you do have Ramondre as insurance, and you have Christian McCaffrey.
Yes.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I really am.
I mean, obviously you're risking JJ not playing this season, but I did read something that said they actually expect him to play again this season. So who knows? It's hamstring.
I'm expecting him to play.
Well, you don't.
And I'm like
know
the best,
anything.
most reputable source that you could
Right,
ever
I
ask
was
about
gonna say,
Justin
like,
Jefferson's health specific.
That didn't
Hashtag
move the needle for me.
domain.
Yeah.
Because I'm a Vikings insider that lives in Indianapolis.
So yeah, I mean, obviously Pacheco is getting workhorse volume right now. We like to see that from a Chiefs back. He's really getting the majority of the work there. It's actually surprising to me. Like I have been pleasantly surprised. I don't have a lot of Pacheco, but
I've been too. I've been very low on him.
yeah.
And he's been doing great.
In short, yes, you should take that trade. It's obviously risky, but again, you get Pacheco to kind of replace Kyren, and then you're just banking on your wide receivers until Justin Jefferson potentially comes back. If he does come back, he's winning you that league, so we like it.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
Juice 420.
especially in a 14
Again,
team.
we really appreciate you. Let's jump down to Oracle's app here below this. This may be his second question. Oracle's app, really sorry about this, my friend. 3 and 2, half PPR, 1 QB, 1 flex. You've got Allen Diggs, Kupp, Bijan Pollard, Ingram. Flex, you've got Ayuk, Collins, Gabe Davis, Brees. Steven season. I don't think it is anymore, though. Forward, Christian Watson. On IR, you've got Richardson and Roshan. Should you trade Kupp for JJ and Terry? Is my flex okay? Should you do that?
I'm not going to do that.
I don't think I'm doing
Cooper
that one.
Kupp's upside for the rest of the season is
As
just as
high.
high as Justin Jefferson. They're in the same tier. And who's healthy right now? Kupp.
Yep.
So I'm going to go with Kupp.
Which that's flipped. Again, sorry about that, Oracle's app. We really appreciate you joining, my friend. Love having you on these streams. All right, guys, make sure you drop a like. Make sure you drop all your questions, fantasy football related. We are way, 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 way up the list right now. We got a lot of questions, so super chats are going to jump right to the front of the line, get their questions answered right away. Nathan, I'll let you find the place.
Graham
Of course.
Johnson, 10-team full PPR.
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you.
It's so
Sam.
hard
Want me to keep
bounce.
reading? Stacked receiver room.
yep.
Jacobs,
I gotcha.
JT, Kyren.
At running back, looking to load up for the end of the season, would you move Kyren Williams and Christian Watson to get a Chan, or is Kyren too valuable? I think Kyren's too valuable this year. He's getting too much volume, and Christian Watson still TBD. We don't really know, but we also don't know the extent of Devon Achan's injury, and it's obviously been a knee injury that they've been very, very hush-hush about. They've put him on IR, technically short-term IR, but again, no one really knows when he's going to be back. Could it be 4 weeks? Yes. But if he comes back from a knee injury in 4 weeks, is he going to be fully healthy? How are they going to utilize him? We just don't know. At this point, I'm going to take the guy who already has more volume than Devon Achane and is producing right now. So I think I'm fine just holding Kyron Williams at this point.
Yeah, great question. Let's jump up to Will, who gave us a super chat. Will, my buddy, we appreciate you. Thank you for your super chat and support.
Very much.
Thanks for joining in.
Nice palm trees.
Nice palm trees. PPR,
Very.
Cousins, ETN, Pollard, Chase, Olave, Kelsey, Tank Dell, Judy, Rashee Rice for flex options. Barely have any depth. 3 and 2. Which stars do you think I should move? Thank you, guys. You're welcome. Listen, first things first. Go ahead and say it.
Upside wins championships, not
And
depth.
Not depth.
Not depth.
So don't worry too much.
Especially when you're 3 and 2.
Yes.
So when you are a fringe contender or when you're a fringe championship team trying to elevate yourself above anyone else, you can't afford to get rid of your guys that have a higher ceiling to get guys that have depth, because you can't even consider that in the equation when you're already questionably contending at the moment at 3 and 2.
Yes.
I think owning ETN and Pollard is great. Chase and Olave is great. Kelsey is great. Tank Dell, Judy, Rashee Rice at flex, that's really tough. But if you move off of one of ETN, Pollard, Chase, Olave, Kelsey, like, who are you going to get in return to help you in your flex spots that's really going to elevate you when you lose one of those guys? You can't move off Chase. You can't. He just put up 52 points. Tony Pollard, like, he might be the only guy where I would ever consider down tiering from to get a little extra depth in your flex spots. But outside of that, I'm really liking where you're at with your starting assets. And Rashee Rice is on the rise. We have him as a rookie stash if you saw our video this week. Jerry Jeudy is a guy who I'm looking to sell after he gets traded when people get excited about his fantasy upside again. Tank Dell, I mean, who knows what Tank Dell could do in the future? He obviously got a concussion, I think, was it last week? But outside of that, man, you got to stick with the guys you have because you're winning games with them.
Yeah. So I would keep rolling with most of those guys. And again, you are going to have some guys you could potentially move. That's a good team, man. It sounds like you killed your draft. You've been working the waivers.
Yeah.
I'm really comfortable with the progress you've made with this team. I would be interested to see if you move to 4 and 2 this week. So make sure you drop back on next week and let us know. But
and his depth as well.
His depth is fine, in my opinion.
But
I like this team.
Past the flex options.
Right.
Because I'd like to see who's on his bench and, whatnot. So.
But again, Will, really, really appreciate you joining us, man. Thanks for the super chat. You rock, my friend. Brandon says, I know you're Colts fans. Good. I'm glad you know that. But how good do you expect JT to be going forward once he's fully back? And what do you think his split with Moss is, if any? How good? Very. Extremely. Epically good. And that's not being biased. It's one of the best running backs in the league. The split with Moss is the second part of this question. I mean, look, every running back now is splitting carries. In one way or another, they're splitting carries. So what do I expect it to be? 70-30, right? I mean,
he was splitting carries with Nyheim Hines when he had his best year ever. So I'm not concerned about Moss taking away from his fantasy upside. I really think Moss, if anything, will just help JT be more dynamic as a runner because he's not taking the whole load. They're going to share the load.
Yeah, it's going to look. It's a committee backfield. Committee backfields are good for running backs and their longevity. Yep. But it's not going to prevent Jonathan Taylor from scoring fantasy points. So if anybody wants to doubt him for that, let's do it. Yeah. Kiwi Sports Mage, what's up, my friend from New Zealand, if I remember correctly?
Yes.
Half PPR, who to flex? Amari, Ford, or Foreman? So you have Amari Cooper without Deshaun. Ford without Deshaun. Foreman probably starting there. I'm probably just going to... This is one of those situations where I lean on my studs.
I'm going with Amari Cooper.
And I'm going to go Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
Look, I think you've got a good case to start Foreman there. However, I am going to, when I'm in doubt, when I have this very cloudy situation with who to start, I lean on my studs. And Amari's the stud there. So I'm going to pray that he actually gets some touchdown upside from PJ Walker. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. And, I mean, when you're looking at Amari Cooper last week, he still, even though he only put up like 6 points, he still had, I think, 8 targets. So you just got to count on him capitalizing on those 6 targets, only 1 reception because DTR couldn't throw to anything. He literally couldn't throw it to anyone. So just count on that.
All right, Kiwi Sportsman, really, really appreciate your super chat. Thank you so much for joining us from across the globe. All right, we're going to go all the
way
way back up here and go back to the comments. We'll come back if there are any super chats down below. We're going to work our way down this list.
A Torex says, hey guys, which side would you choose? Bijan, Ayuk, Deontay, or Monty, DK, Mike Evans?
I would go with Bijan, best player in the deal, and Ayuk, who I'm taking probably straight up over DK, and then Mike Evans, who's struggling with a hamstring injury. So I'll take the Bijan side there.
Keep going. I'm lost.
Kinger says, hi guys, who am I starting in
Kinger?
my flex? He's right above the Brandon super chats.
Yep.
He says, hi guys, who am I starting in my flex? Full PPR, Mixon, JT, Waddle, Addison, or Kirk. This week, we're going to go with Christian Kirk matched up against the Colts secondary. Yes. And I know Addison is playing with no J. Jeff, and they are playing the Chicago Bears defense.
Waddle's playing the Panthers, though. I'm taking Waddle, dude. Against Carolina's defense. Dude.
How is this in your flex? All these players that you have.
Yeah, this is ridiculous. This is like a 2-team league?
My goodness.
What in the world?
Maybe he's loaded. Maybe it's a dynasty league. And
it's
he's
just
loaded.
It's just him and his buddy. Yeah, I'm going Waddle here. Like, I like Kirk, too.
I totally spaced. Yeah, I didn't think
Waddle's
about
playing
Waddle.
Who are the Bengals playing? Because Mixon's
Bengals.
not...
Who are the Bengals playing?
I mean, but there's also a possibility that McDaniel just runs the ball all over the Panthers, too.
That's true.
You know, and since Waddle's the 2, I mean, Addison is technically the only one in this list. So I guess if you're going by that logic, you'd say Addison.
No, it's not even about
but
the
I mean,
it's
Hawkinson,
just about Jalen Waddle being Jalen Waddle. So
yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Hansi says 10 teams wide receivers are Tyreek, Keenan, Ridley, Zay Flowers, and Jacoby Myers. Traded Ridley for Mixon. Does he need a running back to replace Gibbs? What are your thoughts? Ridley for Mixon is fine with me. That's fine.
Yep.
I think it's a good buy low on Mixon. T-Money Reacts says 8 PPR. I'm saying 8 team PPR. 2 flex, Fields, Bijan, Kyron, Kupp, Olave, Ridley, Chase, Hawk, bench, Burrow, Rice, Waddle, Palmer. Why is Waddle on your bench? Downs, Osborne, redraft 3 and 2. Any moves there? Good question. I do think it looks like you've got Burrow. I would trade Fields.
Yep.
I would trade Fields. Just so you get something good for him, man. I'm keeping all those guys in your starting lineup. On your bench, man, you've got Waddle too. I mean, see if you can. You've got so many studs. You've got Kupp, Olave, Ridley, and Waddle at receiver. Not to mention you've got good depth.
Well, when you're looking at an 8-team PPR as well,
it's true. It's an
upside
8-team,
wins championships. So let's move off Olave and let's package him with another guy on your bench. Like, I mean, you could package him with Ridley and start Waddle every single week. Package Olave and Ridley and get another elite level wide receiver like a CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah.
And I mean, you'd be chilling.
Yeah, totally.
That'd be ridiculous.
Totally agree. Again, guys, we're way back in this list of questions. So drop every single question you've got, and we're going to answer as many of them as we can tonight. Or if you want to jump the line and get your question answered right away, drop a super chat. Jeremiah says 10-team non-PPR, so standard scoring. Trade Brees or Saquon for Justin Jefferson.
I would trade
Brees for Justin Jefferson.
I would trade Saquon for Justin Jefferson.
Over Brees?
I'm kind of getting worried about Saquon, not because of his health, but like
because of the Giants.
The Giants.
Yeah, they suck.
So they're by far worse.
I mean,
than
it's going to depend on your team and your record, though. Can you afford to take on the risk of JJ not playing for the next couple weeks?
I mean, Saquon isn't playing, so how much?
Yeah, but he's going to be back next week. He's questionable for Monday. I just think they hold him out.
But how much, if he's considering this trade even with JJ, he hasn't been starting Saquon for the last 4 weeks. So how much has it really negatively impacted him if he's looking to even do this deal?
2 and 3, because Saquon's been out, I'm probably not making this trade.
Is he 2 and 3?
Oh, I'm just saying that's dependent on what his record
I just have a hard time seeing him even considering this trade. If he's 1 and 4, you don't gun for Justin Jefferson if you're 1 and 4.
I mean,
so I would assume he's 3 and 2, 4 and 1.
I mean, I guess if that's the case, then maybe, but I'm not assuming that. I think we have to know the record to answer that question. Shaka says, would you trade Andrews and Garrett Wilson for AJ Brown and Kittle? Also have Komet PPR.
Yes, I'm doing that.
Yeah, I'm fine doing that for sure. Jamie says 10-man full PPR. I was making sure this wasn't his the super chat there. Start 4 from 7. Barkley, Taylor, Ayuk, Debo, Devonta Smith, Myers, and Gabe Davis.
We're gonna go
Barkley's out. Ayuk,
Devonta Smith.
Yeah. Myers,
Debo. That's 4. I'd probably start all those guys over JT
go
this
week. Let's go with those 4. Yeah, like that. You got it.
It's Nesso says 12-man, Kirk, tight end, Hawkinson, wide receiver, AJ, assuming that's
AJ Brown.
AJ Brown.
Yep.
Keenan Allen, Jacoby Myers, Hollywood, Deontay Johnson, Tank, and Josh Downs. Running backs are Barkley, Raheem Mostert, Ford. Who do you think I should trade one of my wide receivers for? Running back, I'm 5-0 right now. Man, if it ain't broke,
don't fix
if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I like dead serious. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
You're doing just fine without Saquon right now, and once he's back, you're going to be unstoppable.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, let's jump down to Brandon here. Brandon, thank you again for your super chat, my friends. Thought you guys would get a kick of how crazy I've avoided injuries. Everyone I've traded away right before injury, bang up. You traded JJ, Mike Evans, Jahmyr Gibbs, James Conner, Tank Dell, Waddle, Ron Adams, flip for healthy stars.
Wow.
Dude, can you tell me who to trade and win? Like,
Yeah.
please.
That would be really,
How did you
really
even
nice.
do that?
He's
That
a
would be
wizard.
great. It's actually funny to kind of go off what you said there, Brandon. Like there was a comment a few weeks ago where someone told us that they basically said we were crazy for saying fantasy football is 90% luck. It's all about
it's
strategy
literally luck.
and how you respond and stuff. And I'm like,
Yeah.
dude,
It's luck.
you cannot
luck
predict
unless
Justin
you're
Jefferson
Brandon
going on
and
injured
no-
reserve.
Yeah.
You cannot predict that. And if you did, you wouldn't have drafted him 101 every single time you were in a draft. Like,
Injuries can just derail a super good
like,
draft.
if Christian McCaffrey gets injured and he's done for the year, like, sucks for you.
All right, Brandon, I want to hear in the chat who we should be trading away now.
Yes.
Give us
Tell
our
now.
trade away before this week.
Yep. And I'll do it.
And thank you for your super chat, my friend. We really appreciate you. Daniel, right? What's up, Daniel? Thank you for your super chat. Thanks for your support. Do I start Keontae Ingram emergency? If you have to, you do.
If you
have
to.
I would want to know your other options there.
Well, Keontae Ingram has been injured for multiple weeks. I don't even know if he's available. I'm checking his availability now. Keontae Ingram. He is cleared to play this week after the neck injury. I'm going to count on the guy who's already gotten some opportunity and capitalized on that just last week in DeMarcado. If you were to start anyone, it would be nice to see, again, the rest of your roster. If it's like Avery said, if it's an emergency start and you have to start him, I guess you have to. I've had to emergency start Matt Breida last week.
Matt Burrito.
And it sucked and it was horrible and he did nothing. But again, if you're in that situation, then I guess you have to. But yeah.
Yeah, I think is Keontae Ingram the starter over DeMarcado or not? What do you think?
I would assume they just go 50-50.
Yeah, I mean that's what I would think as well.
Or they play hot hand, whoever's playing the best. And usually, I don't know, I usually see someone like I would just assume it's DeMarcado that's coming off hot from the last game that produces more. So,
Maybe, yeah. I mean, they still are listing Ingram as the RB1 in the starter, but
yeah.
Appreciate your question. Appreciate your super chat. Iceberg won a bag. What's up, Iceberg won a bag? You've got a 10 team. You're 4-1. You're in PPR Superflex. Superflex, nice. You've got Hurts and Cousins. Nice. You've got Mixon, Aaron Jones, Madison. Okay. Amari, JJ, Addison, Myers, Osborne. Wow, you've got all the Vikings receivers. Holy crap.
Mm-hmm.
Spears, Howell, Dotson, Warren, Wilson Jr., and Keontae Ingram. Trade ideas. Nathan, you want to answer this one? Trade idea. So
I'm trading Spears off your bench, and I'm looking to move off Madison as well. If you could package Madison with one of your bench receivers and get a more startable, more consistent running back in a better situation, I'd be a lot happier with your outlook at the running back position. Obviously, Aaron Jones has that nagging hamstring issue. Is he going to play this week? We don't really know. We know Mixon will. We know Mixon will get the volume. But past Mixon, we just have too many question marks. I think it's worth sacrificing some of the depth that you have to go and get a running back that you really trust, because Warren isn't startable. Jeff Wilson Jr. isn't startable yet. I mean, let's move off Dotson and let's get a running back.
Yeah.
So,
although nobody's probably going to give you anything for Dotson, but
yeah, I mean, if you package Dotson with another guy, Sam Howell's giving enough volume.
True.
That he could be valued somewhere. So
that's true. Or you can keep Howell and trade one of Hurts and Cousins.
With him being 4-1, he's
honestly,
4-1,
with your being
he has
4-1,
Justin Jefferson.
I'm cool with you sitting tight. So, okay, appreciate the chat, my friend. Iceberg won a bag. Thanks for joining us. Thank you for your support.
Yep.
Let's jump down to It's Niso Gaming. Thank you for your support as well. Should you trade Tank for Dameon Pierce with the mentioned team above? So let's go back up. Tank for Dameon Pierce. You gonna find it?
I'm looking for it.
Okay. I will come back to that one. Let's go to Daniel Wright. Daniel Wright says between Gainwell, Chuba, or Ingram. I'm gonna go. Geez,
I'll go Chuba.
I'll probably go Chuba. I don't like starting Chuba.
Well, because Miles Sanders is out.
But Miles Sanders is out. So, I still don't like starting Chuba. I still have him on our sits.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'm going Chuba there. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your question. Really appreciate you, Daniel. Ashton says 12-team full PPR start one, Hollywood, Brees, or Godwin. So, in a full PPR, I'm going to go Chris Godwin here, I think. Brees has a tough matchup this week. It's going to be Brees most of the time from here on out. So we know that. However, this week I'm going to go Chris Godwin. I'm just confident in Chris Godwin's floor every week with the targets he's going to get. Mike Evans is back this week, but we're going to go Chris Godwin more often than not. So
I found Nesso's team.
It's down, and he put it at the bottom too.
Oh, sweet.
So,
wow.
All right. Thank you. It's Nesso Gaming. Appreciate you. 12-man, you got Kirk, tight end, Hawkinson, wide receiver, AJ, B, Allen, Jacoby, Hollywood, Deontay Johnson, Tank, and Josh Downs. You got Barkley, Raheem, and Ford. Do you think I should trade one of my wide receivers for a running back? I'm 5-0. And then the trade you're asking about up here is trade Tank Dell for Dameon Pierce. Yeah.
With your running backs,
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
That's
I would
just a little extra security there because you can't start Tank with your wide receiver core.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you.
Yep.
So, yes, we're making that trade. Thank you for dropping your roster again. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
And thank you for your support. Thanks for your super chat. Guys, we're going to jump all the way back up to the top here, but make sure if you want your questions answered, you drop in super chats because we've got dozens and dozens. We probably got hundreds of questions right now, so we gotta work through all these.
Yeah.
But super chats are going to jump the line. Where we at?
A whole bunch back and forth, so bear with me.
Okay.
I think Jamie, caveat, I have CMC, so doubt I can start both Niners receivers.
Bofa, yeah. That's true.
Yep, I'm seeing it. Start 4, we already answered that question. Ethan says, by the way, I'm 1-4, sadly. That was from a super chat.
Answered that one.
Jamie says, caveat, I have CMC, so doubt I can start both Niners receivers.
He just read that.
That's based off of the dude. Oh my gosh.
You're way behind.
Yep. Sam Howell or Gardner Minshew? We're gonna go Howell this week.
Yep. Hal.
The
More comfortable with Hal.
Colts haven't won in Jacksonville in 10 years.
Yep.
So
rest in
that is
pieces. Oh my
our life.
gosh.
Right now.
Why do you have to remind me?
Dylan says Kirk Cousins or Jared Goff start this week. Team's currently Cousins, Kyron, Monty, Amon-Ra, and the rest of your team. Logan Thomas start or Waller. I would start Logan Thomas over Waller and Ferguson right now, right? Starting Logan Thomas.
Yep.
So then for Kirk Cousins or Jared Goff, I'm probably going to go Kirk Cousins because who do they play? They're playing somebody I was like, oh, I got to start
Cousins.
everybody. Yeah.
The Bears.
Yes, start Kirk Cousins. That was the team. I was like, which team was that? Yeah, start Kirk Cousins. Again, guys, we're way behind. Drop super chats if you want to skip ahead here, but we are going to go. Let's go to Tingley. Tingley says, hey, what's up, Tingley? D. Smith or Flowers this week? I still have to lean Devonta.
I would go Devonta Smith as well.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, they do have a tougher matchup against the Jets secondary, but the Jets have kind of been off anyways recently. I do like Flowers' matchup against Tennessee's secondary a bit better. Honestly, I mean, with the target volume, I might lean Flowers there. I kind of talked myself into that.
All right, you keep your place. We got a super chat here. I'll read them to you. T-Law or Gino also need one. So for T-Law or Gino, let's start there. And by the way, Steven, we really appreciate your support, my friend. Thank you so much. Who are their matchups this week? Jags play the Colts. I'm probably going to go
T-Law.
Trevor Lawrence.
Yes.
You got to go Lawrence.
Also need one. So Dameon Pierce, Chuba, or Foreman.
How's the
Who do
Saints?
the Texans play?
Saints.
They play.
They're not bad.
They play the Falcons run. No,
play
they just did that last week.
It's the Saints.
It's the
I'm pretty
Saints.
sure.
It all blends together.
I know. I'm going to go Pierce there. And then flex Ahmed or Tutu.
They're playing the Saints run defense, which isn't much better. So
Dude.
Ahmed or... We
What?
literally just said that.
Oh.
Twice. Ahmed or Tutu. Are you going Ahmed or Tutu there?
I'll go Tutu.
Okay.
He's got some red zone capabilities.
All right.
He did last week
Yeah,
against
I'm going to go Tutu there as well.
Philly.
Steven, we really appreciate you. Thank you for your support. Thanks for your super chat. Brandon says, Ridley or Olave for JJ rest of the year? Who do I trade? If you have to trade one of those guys, I'd probably be more comfortable trading Olave for Justin Jefferson, I think. I'm still pretty comfortable with Ridley right now in redraft. What do you think?
Probably. Yeah. Probably Olave.
Yeah, I think we're going Olave there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you're in a position to trade for Justin Jefferson right now as a redraft contender, then we're definitely doing that. So, Brandon, thank you again for your super chat. Let's jump back up. You've got our spot.
Yeah,
Jelly
Jam says, trade DK for Alexander Madison and Devonta Smith, non-PPR. Yes. I'm taking Smith over DK straight up. Rob says, Gus Edwards or Foreman. We're going to go with Foreman this week. He's the last running back standing in Chicago.
Yeah.
Dylan says 10-man PPR league with Marquise Brown on bench. Thoughts? Thanks. Our thoughts are sounds like you either have really good depth or you need to be starting Marquise Brown. And if you have depth that's that good, I would say ship off Marquise for a guy that you can start every single week if you're forced to bench him.
Yes.
Ajizi says pick 2 in PPR, Olave, Puka, DJ, or Addison. We're going to go with Puka and there's a lot of good matchups there.
Yeah, there are. All of them, really.
You
have to pick 2.
Let's go DJ Moore.
Yeah.
Let's cover our butts a little bit.
All right.
I'm going DJ Moore there.
I think Addison's going to ball, bro.
Juice420 says, oh gosh. So I was offered Justin Jefferson and
Isaiah Pacheco.
Isaiah Pacheco, maybe? That's
I bet.
pretty good. He said, dang phone, I'll ask the question when I get to PC. That's freaking hilarious. I get it.
He super chatted us and asked us the
Bobby
question.
says, any upset predictions for this week? I haven't looked, but I don't think I have any It's kind of a weird week because there are a lot of, like, stupid matchups.
So a big upset that I like this week is the Bucks over the Lions. I know a lot of people are saying that the Lions are well matched against them. That's a big challenge. Lions have looked great this season, but the Bucks, dude, I don't know. I just have a feeling that they're going to pull something this week.
That's funny. I picked that one too.
Seriously?
Yeah, that's really funny.
Nice.
Don't change it.
I'm not gonna. I sincerely believe that the Bucks are
another.
Pull it
I don't really. The Texans over the Saints is another one that's technically an upset based on the betting lines, but I think it's not an upset. I'm taking the Texans. I think Stroud tears them apart. So
I think you're wrong.
Whatever.
I think the. Okay.
We'll see.
Braxy says, would you rather have Brian Robinson or James Cook PPR rest of the season? Probably James Cook, honestly.
Yeah.
Brian Robinson's kind of come back down to earth.
Yes.
What's the difference in strategy between redraft and dynasty? I don't think we have that much time, do we?
That is we could. Do you want the 2-hour answer or the?
We can't. I don't have time for the 2-hour answer. Dynasty, you're thinking years ahead.
Yep.
That's what it is.
Because you keep
or
all
year
your
ahead.
players.
I'm not too far ahead. What do you guys think about? This is from Will. Thanks, Will. What do you think about Hubbard, Olave, or Dante Foreman at the flex full PPR? I'm going to go with our stud there. Going to go with Olave.
Yep.
David says thanks for answering questions. David, thanks for asking questions.
No problem.
Really appreciate it. Jalen Rose, like the actual Fab 5 Jalen Rose. Would you start Hollywood Brown or Olave or Waddle this week? Waddle.
Yep.
Starting Waddle.
Yeah.
Guys, make sure you drop a like if you haven't.
Yeah, we got 44 likes.
Yeah, so let's get that up.
81 watchers.
So let's get that up. And if you want to jump this huge line of questions we have, drop a super chat.
Very big line.
Raiders D or Atlanta D?
Raiders this week are playing
Raiders playing
the
the
Pats.
I'm taking the Raiders D.
Yeah.
I think I would agree.
Yep. Roshan out and Jeff Wilson Jr. on a snap count. Need to drop one to pick up running back 2 this week. Drop Jonnu or Njoku. I mean, either Njoku probably, or drop one of these guys. No, I wouldn't just drop Njoku. It's not a big deal at all.
Yeah.
Seal Mob says Addison or Mostert in the flex full PPR. Mostert. Not a question for me. Not a question. They are going to destroy the Panthers. They're going to run all over them. The Panthers have allowed the highest CPA to running backs this year. Mostert has the backfield himself. A-Chain is hurt. Jeff Wilson is not playing. It's Mostert.
And Addison's playing the Bears defense with no Justin Jefferson.
I will bet you anything that Mostert outscores Addison this week.
Addison is going to go crazy.
You think he outscores Raheem Mostert?
I think there's a possibility.
Sounds like
because
he
there's
should be starting
there's
both these
no
guys,
way.
and
There's more
somebody
weapons to
else
get the
that
ball.
that he's starting that he should move to his.
I mean, there's still more weapons to get the ball to in Miami than there is in Minnesota right now.
Dude, you literally saw the research Kyle did on the matchup for the Panthers. Like, it's the best matchup for the Dolphins.
I know. It's also the best matchup for the Vikings.
We're taking they're not. They don't have the worst secondary in the league. Actually, the Bears don't. They've got a couple people in front of them. I'm taking Mostert there. I'm going to speak for Nathan too, and I'm going to say he's going to say Mostert because I can't accept that answer. I can't.
All right.
High says traded Herbert and Allen for Diggs. I have Fields already. Yeah. Is that Keenan Allen? I mean, I'm fine with that. If you got Fields, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I think we already answered this from Iceberg.
Yep.
Bobby says, how do we feel about Alexander Madison rest of season?
He is what he is. He's super duper mid, and he may eventually be completely splitting time with Cam Akers. If you can sell him for a real nice piece that has actual long-term value in fantasy, I would do it.
What do you guys think Garrett Wilson or Devonta Smith could get me in a trade?
You get more from Devonta Smith than you could for Garrett Wilson.
And honestly, they're both kind of sell lows right now. Like, I don't think I'd be selling either of them.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd be selling either of them.
If you were to sell one, though, we'd say sell Devonta Smith and get a guy, another one of our buy lows. So
yeah. Would you trade Olave, Laporta, and Bijan for Gabe Davis, Kittle, and Moss? No. I'm keeping your side there. Hans says Oracle. I only see one question from you. Okay, Hans was with us there. Milo says if Laporta doesn't play, pick up Henry, Hurst, Hill, or Jonnu. Probably Jonnu.
Jonnu Smith?
Yeah, it's got to be Jonnu.
Yep.
We answered Football de Noche's question. Let's go down here. Let's go to MJB. My team is wide receiver, Keenan Allen, Cooper Kupp, Ayuk, Christian Kirk, Shee Rice, Garrett Wilson, KJ Osborne. You've got Eckler, Kamara. I'll read the rest of this team. Tight end isn't strong, but should I trans someone to upgrade? Tight end? No. Just stream tight end. Just go to the waivers and stream tight end with that team. That's my strategy there.
Yeah.
Should I trade Josh Allen and David Montgomery for Lamar Jackson, Austin Eckler? Yes, you should do that.
By far.
Yes, you should.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, Nathan.
Joe says, should I trade Palmer for JSN? Oh, man. That's difficult. You can't start Palmer regardless. You can't. So at that point, I think sure. Why not? I'm not against it. I think you're betting on JSN starting to show out the second half of the year and Palmer kind of falling off. So I would say sure. Yeah, why not? Jelly Jam, is Madison in... we already answered that. Is he fantasy viable rest of the season, Madison? He's definitely fantasy viable. Doesn't mean he's fantasy valuable, in our opinion. So,
nice.
Killer me!
Yay, what's up? I traded Lamb and Puka for Cup. Was this a bad trade? My league is basically a two-man race, and they're making a lot of moves. I would still go the Lamb and Puka side there. We got to see Cup consistently outproduce Puka Nacua, obviously alone, for that to be worth it. And we don't have enough of a sample size to be certain about that yet.
I think it could be, and it could end up being a good trade for you. But right now, we would lean the package.
Yeah. Yep.
He's right.
Austin says non-PPR, 1 point per 25 passing yards, 4 points for each passing touchdown, 1 point per 10, 6 for each run. Tua or Lamar? Thanks, guys, and sorry if this was confusing. We're gonna go with this week. If you're talking about this week, and 4 point passing, 6 rushing, good matchups for both. I'm gonna go with Tua against the Panthers.
There you go.
I don't think you can go wrong with that. Jacob says, would you trade Hopkins for Stevenson in PPR? Yes, I would do that personally. Would you do that?
I would go do that. I'm
fine with that. Yeah, I'm
fine
with that because you're buying low on Stevenson, selling high on Hopkins.
Against the Colts.
Yep. Wahab Ali says, I traded Brees, AJB, and Gibbs for Adams, JT, and Achan. 12-team PPR. Who won? Well, I think AJB and Adams, it's a lateral move. It's pick your poison there.
I would lean Adams slightly.
Definitely take in JT and Achan over Gibbs. So
you
for sure.
won.
It sounds like you got Adams at a discount after his disappointing week against Green Bay. So I think that was a good job. Yeah. Jamie says, thanks for answering my super chat. Out of interest, why do you rank Debo higher than Ayuk? Consensus seems to favor Ayuk because of his ability against man coverage, and Browns use man a lot. So this week we favor Debo over Ayuk because that is a good point for Ayuk.
Yeah, so Ayuk is first in win rate versus man coverage. So that's a great point. Even with that being true, the Browns have still allowed like the third fewest wide receiver points in the league.
Yeah.
So right now we think Debo is the safer play this week. Obviously, Ayuk, this is pretty much going to be every week. Debo, since he's going to be less reliant on getting receptions to get his points with his other ways that he's used, we think he's a safer pick with a higher floor. Yeah. That is going to be why we think that way. But
I mean, the Browns are so good all over the field that they could just shut down Brandon Ayuk. Like I mean, they could. Who knows? Who knows? Yeah, they could do zone against him to shut him down. Like I don't know, but with that situation, I just trust Debo more often than I do Ayuk.
Yeah,
So.
I'm gonna say, hey, we're way back in this line of questions. If you want to get your question answered, Super Chat's gonna jump the line. That's how it is every week. But we are so far back right now. We have so many questions to answer. So, like I said, if you're watching, make sure you drop a like and drop a question. Jack, what's up, Jack? Long time no see. I know it's been like half an hour, or probably more now because you asked this question 30 minutes ago. Start 2 in the flex. Madison, Amari, Michael Wilson, Dotson. Madison, for sure, against the Bears. Oh, I'll let you answer the second one.
Well, I lost my place, so.
Okay. I'm going to go Amari Cooper there still. I'm still going to go Amari Cooper, even with PJ Walker. All right, let's jump up. You have the place. Let's jump up to, we got a super chat from our friend Fractal Melody. Good to see you again, Fractal Melody. 12 men. Non-PPR, 2 flex. You got Herbert, Diggs, Puka, Brees, Brian Robinson, Laporta, Gabe, MT, Osborne, Spears, Komet, Goff, Gibbs, and Dallas defense. Kicker. Oh, sorry. Dallas kicker. San Fran defense, 3 and 2.
Yep.
Yeah. Ideas. Ooh, good question. All right. So one thing you could do here, you have Laporta and Komet. You definitely want to keep Laporta. Let's see if we can ship Cole Komet off for anybody that's flexible.
Yep.
That's going to be number 1.
I'd straight up for the rest of the season, I like Tyjae Spears better than Brian Robinson rest of the season.
Let's go ahead and see if we can move Jared Goff for anybody right now. You've got Justin Herbert. You do not need him.
Correct.
Let's see if KJ Osborne does anything this week. And if he does do anything, we are shipping him off as well.
Yep.
Use Spears as a throw-in with those guys. And I do like that you listed Gibbs last because,
right.
He's last.
Good.
Rest
Good.
in peace.
Would you prefer that he throws in Brian Robinson over Spears?
No, I would prefer to throw in Spears, I think.
Really?
Well, I mean, okay. There's a good point there.
I would rather keep Spears.
Why?
Because I legitimately think he's the better running back and in the better situation where they run the ball more. And even though he's splitting time with Derrick Henry and Derrick Henry gets better as the season goes on, Spears has already done too much for Tennessee to not utilize him. Like, he is what they've been looking for. They've been drafting running backs for the last couple seasons, just seeing what they can get in them. Sees Hassan Haskins and whoever they got before that.
Joe.
And I think they finally hit with Tyjae Spears, and I think it's kind of legit. I really do with Spears this season.
Well, and I still think if they keep Henry the whole season, his ceiling's going to be severely limited. But if they trade Henry, that's why I would want to hold him. In the off chance that they're 2-5 by the time the trade deadline comes and they trade Henry. So those would be a couple ideas for you, Fractal Melody. Again, appreciate your support in the channel. Appreciate your question. Appreciate Nathan jumping back up and finding our place here.
Yep. Juice 420.
Nice.
No.
That was just about his other
Rankin.
question. Rankin says Kyron for JJ. If you can afford it, yes.
Yeah, if
I'm
you've won more than 3 games, yes.
Yep.
Or if you've won 3 or more games, I guess I should say.
Yep. Jack says, question in general, how much do weather forecasts impact your start-sit decisions on a weekly basis? Let me tell you, there is rarely ever a time where I go and I look up the weather on the cities of each matchup. If the weather is really going to be that bad, we'll know about it because of Twitter and because of the news, and we'll just become aware. Like this week, there are a significant amount of matchups in the Midwest that have heavy wind, but again, how many of those games are going to be indoors?
That's what they said about last night.
Going to be outdoors, and how much did that really impact?
It didn't.
Mahomes and Travis Kelce yesterday with the 17-mile-an-hour winds.
Rice.
It didn't. It didn't. It did for the Broncos, but we didn't expect the Broncos to do anything anyways because they're not a good offense. So not really much unless it's like a total torrential downpour of a game.
Yeah, this is
Really?
probably the homer in us because we just get a Jim Irsay tweet that the roof is going to be closed.
True. All right, let's jump up to Ryan's question. Ryan, we appreciate you supporting the channel. Thanks for your super chats. You've got a few questions here. Let's answer each of these. You've got a super deep 14-man PPR league. Okay. You've got Eckler, and running back 2 is Moss or Foreman. Yeah, this is deep. Roshan out now, so not so sure. Also, Laporta got to go or Jonas Smith. Good to go or Jonas Smith at tight end. I bet Laporta doesn't play this week. Did he practice today? Do we know?
I'll check here.
Okay. I bet Laporta didn't play, so you think you're going to have Jonnu Smith. Since Roshan is out, I'm starting Moss this week. Moss is still fairly startable. And obviously so is Foreman. But again, JT is still going to be on snap count. And Zach Moss, I'm telling you, Zach Moss is like top 10 in every major rushing category right now. He has been fantastic. I'm still taking Moss there.
So he was limited on Friday. Sam Laporta was limited today.
That doesn't give me a lot. Okay, so if it's Laporta, you're playing him, even if he's banged up. If it's not, you obviously have to go Smith. So yeah, I mean, I keep Foreman on your roster and sell him after this week if he goes off. But we're gonna. I think are you starting Moss over Foreman this week?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, I mean Zach Moss has been a beast.
Yeah,
Brian, we appreciate you, my friend. Thanks for joining us. Bo, thank you for your super chat, Bo. Zay Flowers are down. This PPR. Tough.
We're gonna go Flowers. He had 11 targets last week. Downs got plenty of volume too. Gardner Minshew is gonna help him, but you got to look at the matchup and see that the Colts tore up the Titans secondary last week with Gardner Minshew, and now you have Lamar Jackson. And clearly, no one is taking away from Zay Flowers, as we predicted. Yes. So I think you got to go with Flowers there.
Yep, 100% agree. Thank you both for your super chats. We're going to jump back up, and we'll jump back down to the bottom here if we get any more super chats. But
yeah, Bobby says, I traded Ayuk for Olave and a half PPR. I have A.J. Brown and Keenan Allen for other wide receivers. I think that's a lateral move at the moment. If you're getting Ayuk and Olave for the rest of the season are going to be in the same tier. So I think at that point it's pick your poison. We probably prefer Olave for the rest of the season, but it's not a bad trade per se at all.
Jim per se.
Yeah. Need y'all to pick my running back 2 and a flex. JT, Madison, Ford, Amari Cooper, and B-Rob. We're going to go with... Man, that's tough. Got to go JT.
Yeah.
Got to go Madison playing the Bears.
Yeah.
And got to go with the stud Amari Cooper. I hope that he puts up some numbers.
Yeah.
So.
Thank you.
PK CPuff says, I'm running Stafford, Chase, Jacoby, Bijan, Josh Jacobs, Logan Thomas, Kamara, McLaurin, Palmer, Judy. Not going to read the rest of your team. I don't know what moves I should be making full PPR 12-man.
Good question. Trades from that list.
Let's move off Terry and Palmer.
And
yep. Judy.
And Jameson Williams, if you can get... I mean, he's almost droppable at this point.
Hold Higgins. Don't sell Higgins. He's really low right now.
Yeah. Agree.
Yep. Trust Lock
says
Saquon and Brees or JT and Jacobs. Which side y'all taking? We're going to go JT and Jacobs for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Yep. Matthew says, hey, guys, thanks for the content. No problem.
Thank you, Matthew.
Sit 1, PPR, Adams, Keenan Allen, Puka, and the Sun God. Yikes. I think we're going to go Amon-Ra coming off the injury.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good call. Kiwi Sportsman says, who should I flex half PPR? Amari Cooper, Ford, Jeff Wilson, not playing. Or pick up Foreman. I have multiple injuries. Just play Amari.
Cooper.
Yep. O'Horrell says, I need y'all to pick up my running back 2 and flex. JT, Madison,
Already
Ford,
answered.
Amari. Okay.
Master J3 says,
nice.
Someone in need of a QB and want to move Love. Some options are Puka, Hollywood, Ayuk, Lockett, Moss. Who should I go after full PPR? If you can move Love and get Puka Nacua, yeah. If you can move Love and get Tyler Lockett, I am completely fine with that. If you can move Love and get Zach Moss, whatever. I mean, Moss will probably put up some points for another few weeks and maybe even have some boom weeks like Nyheim Hines used to. But I think regardless, literally any of those guys I'm comfortable trading away Love for.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Sean says, is Ahmed a good play? Being Jeff Wilson is doubtful.
Maybe if you need to flex him, yeah.
If you literally have to. But outside of that, not super comfortable with him. Ben says knee injuries are scary.
Yes,
they are. Probably talking
once.
about the Eshan
Yeah.
question. Fractal Melody says, much love, gentlemen. Much love
to you.
Pick 2 non-PPR to start this week in flex spots. Michael Thomas, Gabe Davis, KJ Osborne, Tyjae Spears. We're going to go Michael Thomas, and we're going to go Gabe Davis.
Yeah.
Are we going to go Michael Thomas this week?
We technically said no.
Should we go KJ Osborne?
And Gabe
Let's go Gabe Davis and KJ.
Yeah. Hey, we're going to be done here in probably 10, 15 minutes. So make sure you guys, if you want to jump the line, we are literally hundreds of questions behind. We are not going to be able to answer these tonight or we'd be here all night. So if you want to get your question answered tonight, drop a super chat in the next couple minutes and we'll answer that before we head out.
Should we just jump to the bottom for the
that doesn't
people that are here?
not
No.
fair.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah,
you're
it's not
right.
fair.
Finding Jesus says, I'm somehow 5-0 and I feel I need to trade or add someone. Oh, super chat. Let's go down to
All
Super
right,
Chat.
let's jump down.
We'll come
Ryan, we
back.
appreciate you. My friend, we could have answered. We'll finish that question afterwards.
Yep.
Same deep 14-man PPR league as the previous question. Okay. So you've got Herbert, Eckler, Moss, D-Hop, and Puka. You got Laporta. You've got Eagles. You got butt kicker.
Kicker.
What trade should I be targeting? I had an offer Bijan and Purdy for Puka and Herbert. Oh, I like that. Yeah, I'm making the Bijan trade, first of all. Because looking at, so you got D-Hop
Yeah.
and Puka. So who's your third wide receiver, though? Because you're trading away a wide receiver for a running back there.
Yep.
And you're running back too.
If
You're fixing. Oh, you've got D-Hop. He's got D-Hop.
Right.
But he has so
D-Hop
who's his
and
second
Puka.
one?
I mean, D-Hop and Puka are his top two. If you don't have anyone to fill the shoes of Puka and can't really make up for that, just go with Eckler and Moss right now. But
That's what I would do. Because it looks like you're just taking your running back situation and turning it into a wide receiver situation.
Ryan, let us know what your depth is. Tell us your bench, some of the guys that you're considering flexing as well at with
might
this
be
roster, and we'll see what we have to work with. But it definitely does depend. Again, who are you more comfortable in that deal? Are you more comfortable compensating for wide
Here we
receiver?
go. Wide receiver 3 is Pickens and Michael Thomas.
Then
You gonna make it? You gonna do it?
I think I would make that.
So I think I'm gonna go Bijan there as well.
Yeah.
So let's look at some other trades potentially though. Man, it's hard. I'm keeping Eckler for sure. D-Hop, man, if I know you're trading Puka, but if you could also move off of D-Hop for somebody safer, would love that. We'd love that.
Legit, like if you could sell D-Hop before this week, because I really don't think he's going to do this much against Baltimore. He's probably valued higher now than he ever will be all season.
Yeah.
If you get anything, a safer wide receiver, do it.
So he did say he's currently 4-1, number 2 in the league. And so what that Bijan trade is going to do for you, since you do have the wide receiver depth to cover for Puka, it's going to allow you to have a higher ceiling here. It's all about ceiling, baby.
Yeah.
And especially in a 14-man.
Yeah. And Moss has really helped with that. I mean, his ceiling has been incredible. What has he been on the year? I
He's
gotta
an
look this up.
RB1. He's an RB1. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were saying he's RB1 overall.
No,
I
he
was
is
like,
an
whoa.
RB1.
Yeah, so Zach Moss this season has been, oh my gosh, Sleeper is the most glitchy thing of
On an Android, yeah.
all time. I'm never gonna get it up. RB7.
Wow.
He's RB7 right now, and that was with missing game 1.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
20, 22, 9, and 33.
Yeah. Now, and so Moss is a good hold, I think.
Yeah.
But again, D-Hop, some guy we would be moving. Outside of that, on your bench, I mean, if you can move Pickens for another safer wide receiver, that would make the Puka trade even more viable in my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
He did ask, is Purdy a significant downgrade from Herbert, though? Let's look at their fantasy production.
I don't think so.
I don't think
Purdy's
it is
out.
right now.
Purdy's out producing Herbert. As long as Kellen Moore and Brandon Staley are the coaches for the Chargers, they're literally not. Like he's not.
It is
like,
a handy.
We're not looking at that and super worried. Like to us, you're going from
Purdy-
Puka to Bijan, and you just have to consider the depth there.
Purdy is just so efficient, and he just makes good decisions. He's QB8 on the year, 16, 14, 20, 21, and 26. Herbert on the year, now granted he's had a bye, is QB 11 with the bye, with 20, 22, 29, and 23. He's going to be a little more consistent because he doesn't have a Christian McCaffrey. He does have an Austin Eckler, but Austin Eckler has a lot of receiving upside, which helps him. I just think, dude, if you're getting Bijan, like, take the best player in that deal, you know?
Yeah.
Because in a 1 QB, it's not quarterback that's winning you your league. The difference between Herbert and Purdy is not as significant as Bijan and Puka.
Yes.
And the only QBs that are winning you leagues are the QBs that finish as top 3 producing quarterbacks. And Herbert isn't going to do that this year, most likely.
Exactly. It's the same. It's just like tight end. QB and tight end are in 1 QBs are literally the same.
Yep.
They are.
Yeah.
All right, let's go up and finish that question you had answered.
Yeah. So
Last call for questions, by the way. If you have any super chats, we'll answer those before we head off here.
Yep. Finding Jesus says, I'm somehow 5-0, and I feel I need to trade or add someone. I have Burrow, Kirk, Devontae, Gabe, Derrick Henry, Alexander Madison, Travis Kelce, Downs, Curtis Samuel, Dell, Josh Palmer, Pickens, and Warren. What would you do? Dude, if you're 5-0, again, we've said this before, if you're 5-0, it ain't broke. So don't change much at all. I like that you have it. Is this Kirk Cousins with Burrow? If this is Burrow and Kirk Cousins,
It's
trade
gotta be Christian Kirk.
trade one of those QBs. If it's Christian Kirk, hold Christian Kirk. Got to be a little more specific there with the Kirks.
I don't know. I think it's receivers.
If you're going to move anyone, I guess I would say move off Madison to get a safer running back for the rest of the season. But outside of that, that's a pretty good looking team there. Jamie Williams says, how much will JT play this week? They say they're going to ramp up his workload, ramping up from 15% to, we would anticipate, no more than 40 to 50%. I would say no lower than 30%. I think he's going to get a lot more workload, a lot more opportunity to be able to produce. We got another super chat now down here.
He did say it was Kirk Cousins, but Mel's got a super chat for us. Mel, we appreciate you, my friend. Bros. Okay, it's serious. Full PBR.
Yep.
Gino or Carr?
Go Gino.
Gino. Flex 2, Cooper, Hollywood, James Cook, Palmer. We're going to go James Cook for sure. Playing they play the Giants, right? Giants.
Yep. And I'll go Holly.
And Hollywood Brown.
Yep.
RB2, Madison or
Going to go Madison playing the
Madison.
Bears defense.
Yeah. Again, I'm fairly comfortable with those calls right now. Gino is playing at a very high level. With Amari Cooper, he does not have Deshaun Watson. That's why we're going Hollywood and James Cook.
Yeah.
And Palmer would have had a bad week if it weren't for the last play. And then Madison playing the Bears. Look at what running backs have done against the Bears this year.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Juice for 20 says, if I accepted a trade right now, will it go through before Sunday's games? The RB will get already played. Or the RB you get already played yesterday, assuming this is Isaiah Pacheco or Javonte Williams. Who knows which one?
Great question.
Yeah.
It won't count for your points this week.
Correct.
Yeah.
It only applies until...
You can still accept it. I would accept it anyways. If it's a trade you want to take, accept it so it doesn't go away.
Yeah.
But no, it's not going to count for this week's points.
Yeah.
It would, if you're trading somebody away that you have in your starting lineup, it would not count for that. That person's not going to be in your lineup either.
Yeah.
So that's tough. You might have to wait.
As somebody that has a Javonte Williams share, I don't think that's who he's trading for because he didn't do much.
Yeah.
Tresner says, what up, bros?
Thank you again, Mel Bailey, for your super chat, and Juice 420 again for yours. Really appreciate you guys joining us. Again, last call for super chats. We're going to be on a couple more minutes, 2 more minutes maybe.
Yep.
I do want to answer. Ryan asked if the J. Herb and Eckler combo was worth keeping. So for the stack QB running back, and I said no in the comments because, again, you look at statistically, the league combined win rates over on RotoViz for QB running back stacks, not near as high as QB wide receiver stacks or even QB wide receiver 2 stacks.
Yeah.
So we're not super worried about that. But again, I could see why you'd maybe want to keep them. But again, those guys are going to a lot of times when Eckler has a big game, a lot of times Justin Herbert doesn't. That's with wide receiver and quarterback. They either both have both good games or they don't. That's not necessarily true with running back.
Yep.
Our guy Brandon, thank you again for your super chat, man. Would you trade JT and Olave for Bijan and JJ? Yes, I would do that.
I would do that.
If you have Hurts, Swift, Diggs, Ridley, Marquise Brown, should I just do Olave for JJ? Want best value in trade talks? No, I would do the combo and get Bijan as well.
With Diggs, Ridley, and Marquise, you're not hurting by giving up Olave. You can't even start him right now.
Yeah. And looking at your team, Hurts, Swift, Diggs, and you got good receiver depth there.
Yeah.
And honestly, I want to know who your RB2 is there, but you're getting Bijan, so it's going to raise your ceiling. Bijan is going to raise any team's ceiling, so we're super comfortable going out and trading for Bijan in these trades.
Very comfortable.
Yeah, I think you're getting good value there too, so I wouldn't worry too much about value.
Yeah.
But thanks again, Brandon. We really appreciate you.
Yep.
All right.
Moving back up here. Tresner says, what up, bros?
What's up, Tresner?
Scar says, Thielen, CD, Ridley, sit 1. Definitely not sitting Ridley. Please do not. He could be the wide receiver 1 on the week. Man, between Thielen and CD, I guess you got to go with the better receiver playing against a horrible Staley defense. But literally all of those are good matchups. Thielen's going to get the volume. CD is CD, and he's playing the Chargers. I guess just go with CD Lamb.
Yeah. Also,
that's tough. I think regardless, you're going to end up with a wide receiver scoring a lot of points on your bench.
All right, let's finish it out here with our last super chat. Finding Jesus Christ. Now you said Joe Burrow over Kirk this week. Confirm. This is interesting because Kirk is playing the Bears.
Yeah. So if you're talking this week, I would do Kirk over Burrow this week. When I was talking about his roster earlier, because you said he had Burrow and Kirk.
Yeah.
When I was talking about your roster for the rest of the season, I would move. I would probably move Kirk Cousins between those two because you don't need 2 QBs in a 1 QB format. But this week, definitely starting Kirk Cousins over Burrow.
Yeah.
Bengals are playing the Seahawks, and that's not a bad matchup either. It really isn't, but it's the Bears or the Seahawks. Which one do you want to choose against?
Yeah. All right, guys, we really appreciated you guys joining us and asking all these questions tonight. Very, very sorry if we did not get to your questions. We have had a lot of questions on these streams, and we have to prioritize Super Chats. So, again, make sure you're joining us. Monday, we'll probably have our next live stream then. We're going to go through and answer all kinds of questions then as well, so make sure you're joining us then. Again, guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Have a good weekend. Enjoy football this weekend. We'll have a video out for you tomorrow highlighting all of the starts and sits, the injuries, everything for this week, so make sure you keep an eye out for that. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you later.